Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Allow me to introduce our Group 3, which consists of 6 members. The first is myself, Hani Rosalina. Next there is Isela Monica, Ratu Medina, Natasha Christie, Samuel Siltonga, and Andrew Jonathan. Together, we are proud to present our analysis entitled Analysis of BPKP Financial Report. At this moment, we will discuss BPKP financial condition from several perspectives, including liquidity, solvency, and efficiency. We will also explain the causes of the negative working capital issue and propose several recommendations to help improve BPKP financial management and overall performance. Without further delay, let us move on to the main presentation, which will be explained in more detail by each of group members three.
Okay, first let's start with the profile of BPKP. Badan Pengawasan Keuangan dan Pembangunan or BPKP is a non-ministerial government institution that operates directly under and reports to the President of the Republic of Indonesia. Its main responsibility is to conduct internal supervision of state financial accountability and the implementation of national development. Through this, BPKP supports the realization of good governance and integrity within government institutions. Next, the functions of BPKP can be summarized into three main points. First is conducting audits, reviews, evaluations, and monitoring in the field of financial management in development. Second point is providing technical guidance and consultation to improve the capability of government institutions. And the last point is monitoring the performance and effectiveness of financial and development activities. So, the function of BPKP goes beyond checking, it's also about guiding and strengthening the entire system. Then, let's move on the roles of BPKP, which are also divided into 3 points. First point is ensuring the success and impact of government programs. Second point is boost accountability in public finance. And the last point is recommend improvement for clean governance. Through these roles, BPKP becomes both a supervisor and a partner, helping build a transparent and trustworthy government. After that, regarding its main text, according to Presidential Regulation Number 192 of 2014, Article 2, BPKP is assigned to administer government affairs in the field of supervision of state and regional financial management as well as national development. This means BPKP is responsibility cover both central and regional levels, ensuring that all government activities are well managed and accountable. Next, my teammate will continue by explaining more about the analysis of BPKP financial records.
Okay, next up we have analysis objectives. So the first one is assess accountability and transparency in government finance. The second one is evaluate financial performance like budget efficiency, liquidity, and liabilities. The third one is identify issues like cash decline, capital imbalance, or reliance on state funds. The last one is recommend improvements for efficient, transparent, and sustainable management. Next, will be explained by my friends.
Okay, scroll down, please. Okay, so for the first issue from BPKP financial statement we analyze is working capital issue. The calculation of working capital issues is current assets minus current liabilities, which is 25.54 million minus 73.80 million are equal to minus 48.27 million. A negative working capital value indicates that BPKP's current assets are insufficient to cover all of its current liabilities. In short, its financial position is somewhat precarious because its ability to pay short-term liabilities is smaller than the amount of debt that must be settled immediately. This condition can be a sign of liquidity risks, where cash, account receivable, or other current assets are insufficient to finance daily operational activities without additional funds from other sources. This situation can occur for several reasons, such as high short-term liabilities, a drastic decline in cash and cash equivalents, or a large amount of funds being used to finance fixed asset and long-term projects. Looking at the previous decline in current assets, it is likely that the main cause was a significant decrease in cash, while some short-term liabilities had not been settled. This situation raises several important questions, like has the use of short-term funds been planned efficiently, or does BPKP have a strategy to maintain its liquidity, such as accelerating revenue realization or reducing operational expenses? Furthermore, is this decline in working capital only a temporary effect of the budget cycle, or does it indicate a downward trend from previous years? So, overall, this negative working capital of 48.27 billion is a sign that BPKP needs to reevaluate how it manages its cash and short-term liabilities. If not anticipated, this condition could disrupt the smooth operation of the institution and reduce the flexibility of budget utilization in the coming year. Okay, for the next analysis will be explained by my friends.
Okay, so next we move on to the liquidity analysis. Here you can see a chart illustrating the liquidity ratios along with the corresponding calculations displayed beside it. The first one is the current ratio is 34.6%, meaning that for every 1 rupiah of current liabilities, only 0.34 rupiah is supported by current assets. This indicates weak short-term liquidity. Next, the cash ratio is 0%, which implies that there's no cash or cash equivalents at the end of the year, and the ability to make immediate payments is very limited. Next, the quick ratio is 17%, showing that even the most liquid assets, such as receivables, are insufficient to cover short-term obligations. Next, the working capital to asset ratio stands at minus 0.78%. A negative working capital indicates that current liabilities exceed current assets. And the next one is the solvency ratio is 8,358.72%, reflecting a strong long-term position and also indicating that BPKP remains solvent despite the short-term liquidity pressures. And then next are the impacts. The analysis shows that BPKP's liquidity is weak as current assets are insufficient to cover short-term liabilities. Both are the current and quick ratios are below 100%, signaling a limited capacity to meet short-term debt obligations, while the cash ratio of 0% indicates that no cash is immediately available to settle liabilities. Nevertheless, despite short-term liquidity pressures, the high solvency ratio, which is 8,358.72%, demonstrates that BPKP's long-term financial position remains stable and also secure, with total assets significantly exceeding total liabilities. The next section will be presented by my friend.
Okay, the next section is the liability analysis, which is divided into three main ratios: the debt to equity ratio, the debt to asset ratio, and the debt to revenue ratio. The debt to equity ratio of 1.21% shows that BPKP total liabilities represent only a very small portion of its equity. This indicates a strong and healthy capital structure where most financing comes from internal sources rather than debt. With such a low ratio, BPKP faces minimal risk of dependence on external funding. The debt to asset ratio of 1.20% also reflects that only a small fraction of the organization assets are financed through liabilities. This means that nearly all of BPKP assets are supported by equity, confirming its stable financial position and solid long-term solvency. Thus, the debt to revenue ratio of 95.25% reveals that total liability are almost equal to annual operating revenue. For every rupiah earned, approximately 95 cents are needed to cover obligations.
This high ratio highlights BPKP limited revenue capacity and ongoing dependence on government budget allocation. The next part will be explained by my friend.
Okay, so we will be moving on to solutions. The first solution is overcoming negative working capital. And the first step is accelerate cash inflows, for example, like by speeding up the billing process or budget realizations. And the second step is temporarily hold off on long-term spending so as not to drain cash funds for short-term needs. And the second solution is improving short-term liquidity. Then the first step is manage cash flows more carefully, for example, by creating a monthly cash flow schedule to estimate funding requirements. And the second step is monitor expense regularly to control cash usage. And the third step is manage liabilities and fiscal dependencies. First step is seek other source of funding, for example, through cooperation with other institutions or joint supervision projects. And the second step is arrange payment schedules for liabilities according to revenue capacity to prevent accumulation. And the last step is implement a stricter financial supervision system so that change in budget policy do not have too great an impact. That's all.
Okay, that concludes the presentation from Group 3 on analysis of BPKP financial reports. From our analysis, we can conclude that although BPKP is currently facing short-term liquidity challenge, its long-term financial stability remains strong, supported by a solid financial structure and a low dependence on external debt. Thank you very much for your attention and participation. We hope that our analysis and explanation have provided meaningful insight into financial management in public sector institution, particularly within the Financial and Development Supervisory Agency. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.